We'll be starting in about 2 minutes. We'll be starting in about 2 minutes. We'll be starting in about 2 minutes.
So, test 1, 2.
No.
Test 1, 2.
Testing, testing. We'll be starting in about 2 minutes.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
That was me. It's back. Testing, testing.
Microphone test.
We'll be starting in about 2 minutes.
Testing. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
That was me. Testing, testing.
Microphone test.
We'll be
Test
starting
1,
in
2.
about
Testing. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
You all set, Miss Harris?
Madam Clerk, the time is now 7:03. We can begin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is now 7:03. I'd like to call this regular Township Council meeting to order. Roll call. Councilwoman Perone.
Present.
Councilman Anderson.
Present.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Present.
Mayor Whitfield.
Present.
Thank you. For the prayer this evening, I'd like to invite Reverend Carlos Lamarche from Jesus is Lord to lead us in prayer in tonight's prayer.
Good evening, Pastor LaMarche.
Good evening, Council. You guys look great today, by the way. Good evening, William Morrow. You guys look amazing. I only have 2 minutes, which is a problem for a preacher. I would like to confess my sins ahead of time. The Bible says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 9, blessed be the peacemakers, because they will be called sons of God. Today we have some sons of God here. And I think our town is good because it's a town of peace. Can I hear amen? Let us bow our heads. Lord, we thank you for this moment. We thank you for the ability that you are giving us to be able to present to you, Lord, our peacemakers, your sons, those that will keep the peace. We declare blessings over those that make decisions for a town. Bless them, protect them, give them the wisdom that they need to make the right choices, Lord. Give them the ability, Lord, to have peace in the time of struggles. Lord, we need peace right now. The world needs peace right now. So we give you thanks for giving us peace in our town. And we ask you to give us peace in our heart. In the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor LaMarche. You did good.
Please rise for the flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Compliance statement. Notice was provided in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 to the Burlington County Times, Trenton Times, and Philadelphia Inquirer, stating the date, time, place, and the agenda to the extent it was known. Additionally, notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us at our meeting this evening. We do have a very full agenda today with a number of events that will be happening at this meeting. We'll be starting off with the swearing in of 4 new police officers. And then we'll go on to a few presentations, one of which being the scholarship recipients of the inaugural Mayor's Golf Classic Scholarship Awards. We'll also have a presentation from our library and a number of resolutions that will be passed. So you picked a good one to come to. Thank you for being here. And we'll start off with the swearing in of our officers. We have 4 officers that'll be sworn in tonight. Jalen Wells Green. You can stand as I call your name. Scott Cuney, Luis Montenegro, and Robert Nunez. And before I do the swearing in, Chief Bucks, would you like to say a few words?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Mayor. Thank you. I appreciate, the time tonight to introduce our 4 new officers to you guys and also to the community. So to my far right, we have Officer Wells Green. Officer Wells Green is a U.S. Coast Guard veteran, and he's also a graduate of our Youth Police Academy.
Oh, very nice.
Directly next to me is Scott Cuney. Scott Cuney comes to us from the workforce. His brother is a retired sergeant from the Willingboro Police Department, and his dad is a retired sergeant or a retired officer from the Mount Laurel Police Department.
Very nice.
Directly to my left is Officer Montenegro. Officer Montenegro comes from, turn around. He comes to us from Virtua Willingboro as a security officer, and he is an Army veteran.
Very nice.
And to my far right is Officer Nunez. Officer Nunez comes to us from the school board where he was a security guard for the school. And I turn it back over to you, Mayor, for the swearing in.
Thank you, Chief Bucks. Well, thank you all for your dedication, for your commitment to safety and justice, for your swearing to protect and serve the residents of Willingboro. We take public safety very seriously in this town, and we know that you'll do the best job that you absolutely can to protect yourselves and our residents alike. It is no small task to agree to or to sign up for this job. So we appreciate your raising of the hand. We appreciate your commitment to safety and to justice. And we'll move on to the swearing in. So if you all will raise your right hand and you'll repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and the governments established in the United States and in this state, county, and township, under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all of the duties of police officer in Willingboro Township. So help me God. Congratulations to you all. Now I'll ask if you can have your loved one come up for the badge pinning. It is my honor to present to you new officers of the Willingboro Police Force, Jalen Wells Green, Scott Cuney, Luis Montenegro, and Robert Nunez. Welcome to Willingboro, gentlemen. Moving right along to our next presentations. We'll have the presentation of the annual golf scholarship recipients. So I will start by calling up Elijah Rodriguez. All right. Good evening. Well, congratulations, Elijah, on your award. I'll read your proclamation and then you'll come up and take a picture with council and then you'll see the clerk to receive your scholarship award and a little swag bag from the township. All right. Proclamation recognizing the Yes We Can Scholarship Elijah Rodriguez awardee. Whereas the Yes We Can Scholarship exists to recognize and support exceptional students who exemplify the highest ideals of civic responsibility, social engagement, and steadfast commitment to the betterment of their communities. And whereas the recipient of the Yes We Can Scholarship has demonstrated extraordinary dedication to service, leadership, and advocacy, uplifting those around them through meaningful action and leaving a lasting impact on their local community. Whereas they have shown resilience, passion, and innovation in their efforts, creating opportunities for others, amplifying marginalized voices, and building coalitions rooted in empathy, collaboration, and a vision for lasting change. Whereas the values embodied by the student reflect the very spirit of Yes We Can movement. The unwavering belief that young people can lead, dream boldly, and change the world through courage, compassion, and commitment. Whereas the student will continue to gain valuable knowledge and experiences that will empower them to lead, innovate, and give back to their community. Whereas the Township of Willingboro encourages the student to use their talents, knowledge, and voice not only for personal success, but also to foster unity, drive progress, and help build a stronger, more vibrant Willingboro. Whereas the recipient is not only a leader of tomorrow, but also the promise of today. And the future of Willingboro Township will be carried forward by their courage and capability. And whereas we honor this individual, not just for what they have accomplished, but for who they are becoming, a catalyst for justice, a voice for progress, and a beacon of hope for generations to come. Whereas the following award has been established to honor this deserving recipient in the inaugural Mayor's Golf Classic Yes We Can Scholarship, Elijah Rodriguez. Come on up, sir. We'll take a picture. And you can see the clerk for Congratulations. Deputy Mayor Worthy?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Proclamation recognizing Full Steam Ahead Scholarship, Cameron Ashgar, awardee. Thank you. Whereas the modern world is ever evolving, demanding that young minds not only keep up but lead the way in science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, collectively known as STEAM. And whereas the recipient of the Full Steam Ahead Scholarship has demonstrated exceptional curiosity, creativity, and commitment to exploring and mastering the principles that power innovation and discovery. And whereas the recipient has shown not just an aptitude for academic excellence, but a passion for hands-on inquiry, problem solving, and collaboration, seamlessly blending left brain logic with right brain imagination. And whereas they have inspired classmates and mentors alike through their dedication, integrity, and relentless pursuit of knowledge, often going beyond what is taught in the classroom to explore and apply concepts independently. And whereas the student will continue to gain valuable knowledge and experiences that will empower them to lead, innovate, and give back to their community, Willingboro. And whereas the Township of Willingboro encourages the student to use their talents, knowledge, and voice, not only for personal success, but also to foster unity, drive progress, and help build a stronger, more vibrant Willingboro. And whereas the recipient is not only a leader of tomorrow, but also the promise of today. And the future of Willingboro Township will be carried forward by their courage and capability. And whereas the following award has been established to honor this deserving recipient in the inaugural Mayor's Golf Classic Full Steam Ahead Scholarship Award, Cameron Ashgar. Now, therefore, I, Samantha E. Whitfield, Mayor of the Township of Willingboro, over there, on behalf of the council and the citizens of Willingboro Township, do hereby proudly proclaim and recognize this outstanding individual as a Full Steam Ahead Scholarship recipient, applauding their commitment to exploration, innovation, and interdisciplinary excellence. Congratulations.
And Councilman Anderson?
She announced it for you.
I said Councilman Anderson.
No, the name of the awardee.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Oh, you didn't do that? Oh, all right. I-
80 AC over there.
This proclamation is recognizing Vocational Excellence Scholarship, which is being awarded to David A. Watson, Jr. Whereas skill, precision, and craftsmanship are fundamental to every thriving community, and the pursuit of vocational excellence deserves our highest respect and recognition. And whereas the recipient of the Vocational Excellence Scholarship has distinguished themselves in a hands-on career-focused program through outstanding work ethic, technical mastery, and a genuine commitment to their trade or vocation. And whereas they have demonstrated real-world problem-solving ability, a professional demeanor, and the readiness to enter the workforce or continue training with confidence and competence. And whereas this student has shown that excellence is not confined to traditional academic measures, but can be found in the meticulous weld, that flawless haircut, the expertly programmed circuit, or the perfectly tuned engine. And whereas the student will continue to gain valuable knowledge and experiences that will empower them to lead, innovate, and give back to their community. And whereas the Township of Willingboro encourages the students to use their talents, knowledge, and voice, not only for personal success, but also to foster unity, drive progress, and help build a stronger, more vibrant Willingboro. And whereas the recipient is not only a leader of tomorrow, but also the promise of today and the future of Willingboro Township will be carried forward by their courage and capability. And whereas their efforts uplift not only themselves, but also their peers, their mentors, and the industries they will one day lead, demonstrating that skills, pride, and purpose go hand in hand. And whereas the following award has been established to honor this deserving recipient in the inaugural Mayor's Golf Classic Vocational Excellence Scholarship Award, David A. Watson, Jr. Now, therefore, I, Samantha E. Whitfield, Mayor of the Township of Willingboro, on behalf of the Council and citizens of Willingboro Township, do hereby proudly proclaim and recognize this outstanding individual as a Vocational Excellence Scholarship recipient, applauding their exceptional performance, leadership in their field, and commitment to technical and professional growth.
Councilwoman McIntosh? Thank you, Mayor. I have a proclamation recognizing Make a Difference Scholarship for Layla Neely. Okay. Hello. Whereas true greatness lies not only in personal success, but in the positive impact one has on others and the world around them. And whereas the recipient of the Make a Difference Scholarship has demonstrated compassion, leadership, and a commitment to service that transcends individual gain and reflects the highest ideals of community and citizenship. And whereas their actions have brought light to dark places, hope to the discouraged, and strength to those who felt weak, proving that kindness and courage are among the most powerful forces in this world. Whereas the recipient has inspired peers, educators, and community members alike through a steadfast dedication to equity, empathy, and ethical action, refusing to stand by in the face of injustice and indifference. And whereas their example has mobilized others to believe that they too can be a catalyst for change, a bridge between people, and a builder of a better world. And whereas the student will continue to gain valuable knowledge and experience that will empower them to lead, innovate, and give back to their community. Whereas the Township of Willingboro encourages the student to use their talent, knowledge, and voice not only for personal success, but also to foster unity, drive progress, and help build a stronger, more vibrant Willingboro. And whereas the recipient is not only a leader of tomorrow, but also the promise of today, and the future of the Willingboro Township will be carried forward by their courage and capability. And whereas the following award has been established to honor this deserving recipient in the inaugural Mayor's Golf Classic Make a Difference Scholarship Award, Layla Neely.
Oh, my God.
And last but certainly not least, Councilwoman Prom.
Thank you. This proclamation recognizing Scholar Athlete Scholarship is being awarded to Jazeline Campbell. Whereas excellence in both classroom and on the playing field demands a rare and disciplined balance of intellect, physical strength, time management, and character. And whereas the recipient of the Scholar Athlete Scholarship has shown remarkable ability to succeed academically while also excelling in one or more athlete pursuits. And whereas this student athlete has juggled the rigorous demands of practice, games, and training schedules with the equally high expectations of academic coursework, consistently maintaining excellence in both arenas. And whereas their sportsmanship is as strong as their competitiveness, and their leadership in athletics is matched by their example in scholarship, and whereas they have demonstrated discipline, teamwork, resilience, and drive, not only to win games, but to grow as a student and as a teammate and as a person of integrity. And whereas their commitment to learning physical wellness and community service shows a well-roundedness that elevates both their personal goals and the school community standard of excellence. And whereas the student will continue to gain valuable knowledge and experiences that will empower them to lead, innovate, and give back to their community. And whereas the Township of Willingboro encourages the student to use their talents, knowledge, and voice not only for personal success, but also to foster unity, drive progress, and help build a stronger, more vibrant Willingboro. And whereas the recipient is not only a leader of tomorrow, but also promises of today. And the future of Willingboro Township will be carried forward by their courage and capabilities. And whereas the following award has been established to honor this deserving recipient in the inaugural Mayor's Golf Classic Scholar Athlete Scholarship Award, Jazeline Campbell. Now, therefore, I, Samantha Whitfield, Mayor of the Township of Willingboro, and on behalf of the council and the citizens of Willingboro Township, do hereby proudly proclaim to celebrate this exceptional student as a Scholar Athlete Scholarship recipient, acknowledging their dedication to achieving greatness through both mind and body.
All right. Thank you again to all of our recipients for their excellence in their respective fields. We are so proud of them as the council, and we wish them much success in the future. As we move forward, I did want to, or Councilman Anderson, you said you had a recap from the inaugural golf event, correct?
Yes. So before we show you the presentation, there's a few folks in the audience that I would like to thank that allowed us to carry this forward, to make this a success. We were able to raise $10,000. Each student received $2,000. So it was a huge success, but it couldn't be done, one, without the administration, Mr. Harris, Deputy Manager Gary Lowry, Ms. Tanya Jackson. Can the committee members please stand up if you're in the audience? Ms. Deborah Price, Ms. Pat Lindsay Harvey, Mr. Dennis Tunstall, Dr. Worthy, myself, and also our 501c3 partners, which is the New Foundation. Can representation please stand up? Mr. Gregory Ackles, Mr. Darrell McMillan. I just want to say thank you for everybody who rolled up their sleeves, allowing the council to believe in us to make this happen. And as we indicated, it's the inaugural. We're looking forward to doing it again next year. Hopefully on a bigger scale, we can raise more money to put back into the community so that our children can have an opportunity to get a head start on books, school, whatever the resources that they need. So at this time, we're going to tee up highlights of the event itself.
Annual Mayor's Golf Classic.
We agree to keep this.
Before I get in trouble,
Yes.
I need to acknowledge those members who are not here. Mr. Ron Timmons, Mr. Aaron Davis, Ms. Janice Peppers, and our host for the event was Ms. Mimi Brown from 105. Before I get in trouble,
Yes.
I need to acknowledge those members who are not here. Mr. Ron Timmons, Mr. Aaron Davis, Ms. Janice Peppers, and our host for the event was Ms. Mimi Brown from 105. Before I get in trouble,
RT, can you turn the volume back down on the in the courtroom? Thank you. All right. Thank you, Councilman Anderson, for that update. It was a really great time, and I look forward to future events. Next, we'll have an update from the Vault Dispensary, Tanisha Victor.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
So nice to speak with you. Do you want to put up?
Oh, he has it coming. And if you can speak nice and loud into your microphone.
Yeah, no worries. Can you hear me okay? So I wanted to provide you guys with an update on where we're at. So next week, we plan on filing building permits. We're just about completed with our full set of MEPs. We have a couple of renderings here. They're still conceptual. We're still working through some of the design elements, but the fundamentals of the space are already established. So this is what we envision the outside looking like. We're going to keep the majority of it looking relatively the same, obviously just swapping out signage. If you go to the next, you'll see some additional photos. That's like what it'll look like at night. Keep scanning. Keep scanning. This is a look at the interior. So that's what our sales floor would look like. The sales desk, we're keeping a lot of the fundamentals relatively the same just so that we can move as fast as possible. So not a lot of ton of work on the finishes. We anticipate late September, early October being completed and ready to open, just based off of the timelines that are provided and the lack of changes that we're making to the interior of the space. You could just keep scanning through. It's just some additional photos of the look and feel of the space. Yep, some kiosks. You can keep scanning through. I think that might be the end. I think they can keep scanning. There we go. Yeah, just a couple of additional pictures. Like I said, minimal changes to the interior. On the licensing front, and I shared this in an update in an email to everybody as well, we're actually through what they call the investigative period, which is where they just do background checks on all of the principals involved in the business. So we completed all of our background checks, and they're reviewing just our personal history disclosure forms, which they don't seem to have any remarks on. And we believe and we're hopeful that we think we're going to be on the next CRC meeting, which takes place in early July.
Great. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Victor? Seeing none, thank you so much for the update.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. And with that, we have one last presentation from Willingboro Public Library, the Library Board of Trustees. And that presentation will be given by the library director, Ms. Paulette Doe Williams. Good evening, Ms. Doe Williams.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Good evening, Willingboro.
Nice and loud into the mic.
Okay. Can you hear
Nice
me?
and loud.
Okay. Thank you. We will start by showing our clip. So the clip is what the tax dollars that we received from the township, what your tax dollars. So the clip is what the tax dollars that Thank you. Thank you very much. In addition to the activities and statistics shown in the tax dollar clip, more continues at the library this year. The library purchased 50 new computers at the end of 2024. 22 new computers are installed for the public use, 12 in the reference department, 2 express computers, 4 in the YA room, and 4 in the children's room. 9 more are being installed in the computer training center. The rest will be used to replace staff and programming computers. The new computers are equipped with Windows 11 and Microsoft Office 24. The website is being updated as much as possible because it's being updated. Because of its outdated functions, there was little that could be done. A new website is being built and will hopefully be rolled out during the fall. With support from DPW and the cleaning team, the library is presentable space for community. We are still faced with some challenges. The library continues to operate with minimum staffing, which limits the hours of operation and output to the community. The budget cut of $52,000 has increased our problems. Staff are filling in for duties the custodian did that were not related to cleaning, and we are not in a position to hire a replacement. We are in need of administrative help, library assistants, library associates, and a librarian. Staff are working overtime and get come time, which makes regular scheduling more difficult. Notwithstanding, we offer, in addition to books, the library lends laptops, Kindles, hotspots, Chromebooks. We have sewing machines and more. We offer computer classes, notary services, databases, American Sign Language classes. We do job search and resume help, exam proctoring, GED testing services, faxing, scanning, and photocopying. These are just some of the few things that we do there. We have meeting rooms, study rooms, and co-working space. Check out the local history room for yearbooks, pictures, and other Willingboro historical documents. The exhibit room has monthly displays. Currently, we have the Alpha Kappa Alpha, and the reception is tonight. We have a little free library. Patron can pick up books when the library is closed. Ebooks can be downloaded through Libby, Hoopla, Access 360, and Palace Project. Those are the 4 sources for ebooks at the library. We offer free museum passes from 14 museums located in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. We partner with organizations for mentoring, ESL, ASL, and other educational programming. Our social services partners with Catholic Charities, Legacy Treatment Services, and Virtual to bring monthly programs to the library in addition to daily social services assistance. Programming is, we have programs that are ongoing at the library. WHYY pop-up news will be at the library ready to talk to the community from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, June 18. Story time with Miss Tessa is also tomorrow and every Wednesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Summer Learning Program kicks off on June 28 from 1 to 3 p.m. Children of all ages can sign up and enjoy fun activities, crafts, music, games, and snacks on Saturday. The 6-week summer learning begins the following week from June 30th to August 7, 2025. On Mondays, we'll have children in grades 1 to 3 at 2 p.m. Tuesday, children in grades 4 to 6 at 2 p.m. Wednesday, for early learners at 11 a.m. Thursday, teens in 7 to 12 grades at 2 p.m. That would be for the whole 6 weeks. This year, we are having adult summer reading. So we are asking the adults to sign up on Saturday. You can sign up. We don't have meeting dates, but we'll have challenges for the adults. Teen Gimme is every Monday and Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. in the library, and online Gimme is Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. Friday, June 20th is after hours teen night at the library. It's a very popular program with average 35 teens per night. Last month we have 49 kids who attended the program. Your family history and genealogy can be found using Family Search database on Wednesday, June 18th from 2 to 3 p.m. Ms. Linda, our local history librarian, will guide you. Juneteenth Arts and Crafts is June 19th, June at 6 p.m. Dream More Teen Summit is June 21st at 12 p.m. Introduction to Google Docs is June 21st at 2 p.m. The sewing class is June 23rd at 6 p.m. Explore the local history room is June 25th from 2 to 3 p.m. Ms. Linda, our local history librarian, will help you find important history of Willingboro. Virtual health would be at the library on June 24th from 10:30 to 12 p.m. to 12:30 for blood sugar, cholesterol, and high blood pressure screening. These are the programs and updates from the library. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Owens. Does any council members have any questions for Mr. Williams or about the library? Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you. I don't know if it's for Mr. Williams or the trustees, but I had a question about the cut of $52,000. I know when council inquired about it, we were told that the cleaning, like the cleaning for the library, that money was being taken out, and that the township was taking on that. Were there other cuts to the budget beyond a swap of money for cleaning, or any other funds that weren't distributed to the library?
We have not had cleaning for a number of years, so it has never been a part of our budget, or it wasn't a part of the last year's budget or this year's budget. The custodian, I was also told that it was because of the custodian salary. The custodian made maybe 60% of the amount. And the custodian did not only do cleaning duties. He set up meeting rooms. He went to the bank, went to the post office, came to the township, and did other things at the library, which we have no one to do now. So we have staff members doing it, like the circulation manager has to go to the bank, and that's not what she's got up to do. So we still need to find someone to do these duties and have them paid.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Any other questions from council? All right, Mr. Williams, thank you so much for your presentation. We're committed to making sure that our library is sustainable. So we will be working with you further to make sure that the library has all the resources that you need.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And now we'll be having the reading of our Juneteenth proclamation by Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Whereas Juneteenth, also known as Emancipation Day, Freedom Day, and Jubilee Day, commemorates the date of June 19th, 1865, when Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, and announced the end of slavery, more than 2 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation by President Abraham Lincoln. Whereas Juneteenth stands as a powerful reminder of the strength, resilience, and enduring spirit of African Americans who have struggled for freedom, justice, and equality throughout history, and continue to shape and enrich our communities and nation. Whereas the observance of Juneteenth offers all people the opportunity to reflect on our nation's history, to recognize the systemic injustices that persist, and to recommit ourselves to the work of building a more equitable and inclusive society. Whereas Juneteenth has grown into a celebration of Black culture, heritage, and achievement, marked by family gatherings, education, art, music, and reflection on the past and the promise of a more just future. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, I, Samantha E. Whitfield, Mayor of the Township of Willingboro, on behalf of the Council and the citizens of Willingboro Township, do hereby proclaim the month of June as Juneteenth, a day of remembrance and celebration in Willingboro Township, and urge all residents to honor this historic day by learning, listening, and lifting up the voices of Black Americans, by promoting unity and equity, and by standing together in the pursuit of freedom and justice for all. Let us celebrate this day, not only as a milestone in our shared history, but also as a call to action to acknowledge the past, confront the present, and shape a future rooted in equality, dignity, and respect.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Worthy, and happy Juneteenth to everyone. Please note that we will have our Juneteenth festival on June 21st at Mill Creek Park, and I'm sure Ms. Jackson will share more information on that coming up. I'll turn the meeting now over to our Township Manager, Mr. Dwayne Harris, for updates and overview of the resolutions.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the governing body. Can you hear me? Is it loud enough? Okay,
Nice and loud.
nice and loud. I'm not really going to go through a lot of the report this evening. I will touch on some things. You did get your full report in your packets, and it will be available online for anyone from the public who wants to review any of the information. But I will ask Mr. Chipola to come up at this time and give you a very short recap on some of the important projects that are going on here in Willingboro.
All right, Mr. Chipola, let's keep it brief this time.
I got my marching orders. Good evening, Mayor. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Deputy Mayor. Good evening, Council. Good evening, Solicitor. Thank you.
Nice and loud into the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Okay, I will keep it brief. The Performing Arts Center, Phase 1. The seats are in. Everything looks good. They're currently putting in some sound deadening panels in the front of the stage. We still need to install carpeting, step lighting, and clean up some brick walls. Performing Arts Center Phase 2, we expect to advertise this by Friday, June 20th. I've reviewed the drawings and specs and sent the comments to Pannoni to include in the drawings. Last week, I went out to Edge Lane to verify what was done on the drawings by T&M Associates, sent the comments to T&M Associates, and they're going to be incorporating them into further drawings. I was out at a sinkhole yesterday on Shetland Lane with the Department of Public Works, and they told me this morning that everything was fixed per my requests. And I'm also going to start to investigate fabric-covered structures for the new aquatic center. I'm going to have a pre-construction meeting next week with CME Associates, our consulting engineer, and Earl Construction to start the Buckingham Avenue project. I received 3 proposals so far for the Babbitt, Baldwin, and Bradford Lane stormwater system repairs. I'll be looking at them and bringing a report at the next meeting of who we recommend to do that work. I've been speaking to several other government agencies in Ohio and New York. They were given to me for references from the speed hump company manufacturers, and they've installed several of the speed humps, and just trying to get opinions on product quality and other factors before we make any purchases on the streets that I had spoken to previously. At the Kennedy Center, for both bathrooms at the entry hallway and one at the exercise room, I requested a formal request for quotations go out to contractors for labor only. We will be purchasing all materials for the bathrooms. Looking at 3 potential locations for emergency repair funding by New Jersey Department of Transportation Infrastructure Grant. That is at Plumtree and Potter Lane, Ballard Lane, and Shetland Lane. And last but not least, for the fitness court, we have finally resolved the matter of payment to Diamond Construction for additional concrete site prep work. And we're going to, I'm recommending that we recommend that we approve the resolution tonight for change order number 2 to Diamond Construction. And they expect all the punch list items to be completed next week, and then we can finally schedule the installation for the equipment, get that started. And that's all I have.
Great, thank
Okay?
you.
Any questions, everybody?
Any questions? Seeing none, thank
Sorry, I
you,
went
Mr. Chipola. No, you were great, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Chapola, and I'm going to call up next Ms. Jackson to give you an update on the things happening in Willingboro.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
So a few updates for you as the mayor advised. All are invited to our Juneteenth celebration on Saturday, June 21st from 12 to 4, which will be at Mill Creek Park. It will be a day filled with dance, music, and celebrations, as well as our Freedom Trail. So we do encourage everyone to attend. And then on next Friday, all are invited to the fourth in our sixth series Friday night live music series. And if you missed this past Friday, you missed a treat. I'm just saying. So if you have not joined us, we encourage you to come on Friday, June 27th for the Philly Destiny Band. That will be at 7 o'clock. And residents, of course, are always encouraged to arrive early and reserve a good spot. Bring your chairs. You can bring your own snacks, but we do have food truck on site. So we encourage you to come and be a part. And then we will be wrapping up. We have one on July 11th, which will be Sunday dinner. That's the name of the group. We won't be offering Sunday dinner. And then on July 25th, we will wrap up with the Wise Touch, which is smooth jazz. So we're looking forward to that. We do want to remind you that Country Club Pool is now open on the weekends from 11 to 5, and then daily operations will begin on June 28th. So please make a note of that. And looking ahead, save the dates of Saturday, July 19th for the annual Borough Barbecue, and Sunday, of course, August 10th for our 42nd annual Jazz Fest. A summer mailer will be coming, arriving in mailboxes soon to highlight some of these events and more. And always, you can find it on our website, social media, Willingboro Weekly, and through our Willingboro Connect. So thank you so much. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Any questions?
Thank you.
Seeing none. Mr. Harris, you may continue.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Just a quick report on our finances. As of May 31st, the township has collected $17,096,004.49 in total revenue, of which $16.67 million came from property taxes. We dispersed $3.28 million to the Willingboro Board of Education, and $2.27 million was transferred to Burlington County for second quarter county taxes. Our police department, we have Officer Patrick Grazia, who retired on May 31st after 25 years in law enforcement, including service as our K-9 handler since 2016. He has received multiple commendations, and we deeply appreciate his service here in Willingboro. The Youth Police Academy is planning their 15th class, which is scheduled from July 21st to August 8th. Participation is from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The program targets high school students that are interested in law enforcement or military careers, and boasts a 3-week immersive format, unique in New Jersey. It's almost like boot camp. And as Chief Bucks noted, 4 of our current officers are actually alumni of that program. So it is a very rich and beneficial for any of our young persons that wish to participate in that program. Some notables, Officer Quinones and James participated in the police unit tour biking from New Jersey to Washington, D.C. to honor fallen officers. They supported the Special Olympics as honor guards and medal presenters on June the 6th through the 8th. We swore in 4 officers this evening. And again, congratulations to Chief Bugs and the department who received their 4th accreditation here in the department. So that's a major achievement. And the Kona with the Cop event was held on the 12th, and the bike patrol will resume for the township. It has resumed for the township. I also would like Captain Bucks to come and give just a quick shout out to Captain Aaron Harry, who is what I believe doing something really spectacular.
Welcome. So Captain Harry is going to be, she leaves June 28th and she'll be gone for 10 weeks and she comes back September 4th. She's attending the FBI National Academy. She is the 8th person from Willingboro to attend, and she's our first female to attend for Willingboro. Quickly about the National Academy, it's the top 1% of law enforcement executives. So her accomplishment is something extraordinary because, you figure, the police department or police in general is more of a male-dominated profession. So she is in that top 1%. So she is even a little bit slightly smaller than that to be able to attend this prestigious event. So thank you.
And thank you, Chief Buxton. I think it's pretty phenomenal within itself that 8 of our officers have attended this program. I think that in itself is a statement about the quality of the police officers here in Willingboro. Quick for our Department of Public Works, the DPW pole barn that has been up for decades and was demolished. And depending on the resolution passing tonight, we're making arrangements for a new one to be constructed. PSC&G and Bryant Electric will be out at Mill Creek Park on June the 17th for a site visit to install EV charging stations out by the Futura House. 2 of our employees have completed the core pesticide training, and they are now eligible for commercial certification pending their 40 hours of on-the-job training. As you are aware, the Pennypacker pool was closed, and the ball field netting at Lizzie Park and JFA fencing repairs were delayed due to some vendor errors, and some staff shortages, but we will get those taken care of as soon as we are able to. Just to note that DPW over the last month has collected 220 bags of trash. They have repaired 35 potholes, inspected 719 catch basins, cleaned 422 of them, and collected 1.87 tons of recycling materials. And we did receive an additional $82,000 from our Clean Communities grant as well this year. Our inspections department has been very busy also. They completed 2,933 inspections. That's a lot. They issued 1,365 violations, 19 summonses, and they closed 1,568 cases. So our inspections department also is very busy. They issued 218 construction permits, 154 zoning permits, and they collected $77,835 in fees this month. Just note on human resources, we did have 2 new code enforcement officers trainees added to our inspections team. And in our vital statistics department, they registered 152 births in the month, 53 marriages, 8 deaths, and the mayor performed 12 of those marriages. So those are just some of the highlights of the report for the month. And again, it is available on the website for the public to review.
Okay. Any questions from council on Mr. Harris's report? Seeing none, we'll move on to the resolutions overview.
So the items being presented to you for your consideration this evening is ordinance number 12, which is an ordinance of the Township of Willingboro, amending Article 4 of the Township Code regarding powers and duties of the Township Manager. Ordinance number 25-10 is going to go for a public hearing and final adoption potentially. That's an ordinance to add a chapter introducing second-story deck and balcony restrictions in all residential zones to the Code of Willingboro Township. And ordinance number 2511 is also an ordinance to introduce a new chapter regulating new convenience store hours and proximity restrictions in the Township Code. Resolutions being presented for your consideration. The first one was pulled from the June 3rd meeting, and that was to authorize the township to establish a not-to-exceed amount for Pioneer pole buildings. That's for the construction of the pole barn in the Department of Public Works. Resolution number 148, which was also pulled from the meeting on June 3rd, is a resolution authorizing the township to award a contract to Cherry Valley Tractor Sales as part of the New Jersey State Approved Purchasing Cooperative to purchase a Kabuto zero-turn lawnmower. Don't know exactly what it is, but it's supposed to be a good piece of equipment. Resolution number 154 is authorizing release of a performance payment and a 2-year maintenance bond in the amount of $208,545 to Standard Pipe Services for the Bolton and Balfour Lane sinkhole repairs, which was completed and done 2 years ago, and we're ready to release the maintenance bond. Resolution number 155 is a resolution to cancel old outstanding checks and reconcile the books. There were several checks that were issued from the township to certain individuals dating back from 2021 that have not been cashed. So we're going to cancel those checks and then re-reconcile our books. Resolution number 156 is a resolution regarding the Governor's Council on Substance Use Disorder. That's the Municipal Alliance to Prevent Substance Abuse for the fiscal July 1st to June 30th, 2026 cycle. I believe we are going to receive $2,250 in that grant, and there is a $875 matching portion from the township. Resolution number 157 is a resolution to participate in a pilot electronic tax sale program. The township has participated in this program in the last few years. However, it is still deemed a pilot program, so we still need authorization from the governing body to participate. Resolution number 158 is a resolution authorizing the township tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with PL 1994 C.72. This is usually done when the county has a delay or has been delayed in approving their budgets, and it enables us to do an estimated tax bill so we can go ahead and get those mailed out and continue to collect taxes from the residents. Resolution number 159 is a resolution authorizing an increase to the not-to-exceed amount for Pannoni Associates for the provision of engineering services to the township. We had a number of bills from Pannoni that came into us very late from 2024 that we are just compelled to pay. Resolution number 160 is a resolution approving the vouchers for payment and ratification. Resolution 161 is a resolution authorizing an application for grant funds from the Burlington County Municipal Park Development Program for the recreation development of a fishing dock at Crystal Lake. We had talked about this a few years ago, the desire to put a fishing dock out on Crystal Lake, and hopefully we'll receive this grant, which would cover the anticipated construction costs. Resolution number 162 is a resolution authorizing a memorandum of understanding between the Township of Willingboro and the Willingboro WCDC, or the Community Development Corporation, for collaborative efforts regarding the restoration and revitalization of the Futura House located in Mill Creek Park. Both organizations have been working very diligently to secure grants and volunteers to work on the Futura House. But we felt that it was in the best interest for one entity to kind of take control, and the WCDC was the better of the two. Please understand that we are not relinquishing control or giving the property to the WCDC. They are just going to move forward in solidifying grant opportunities and finding volunteers so we can get that up and re-beautified and back in service. Resolution 163 is a resolution authorizing in-rem foreclosure actions. You may understand that the township absorbs a lot of liens on properties from people who don't pay their taxes. And this is an opportunity for us to foreclose on those properties, recoup any monies and repurpose them for purposes that are much better suited than just sitting empty. Resolution number 164 is a resolution authorizing the township to award a contract under a national cooperative, Sourcewell, and that's to purchase a full one Polaris full-size ATV. That is a vehicle that will be utilized by the police department to have a little more access into some of our parks and areas where police vehicles cannot adequately traverse. Resolution number 165 is a resolution authorizing the renewal of alcoholic beverage control liquor license for July 2025 through June 2026. Resolution 166 is a resolution extending the time period for the Vault Dispensary to receive all necessary cannabis state permits. Resolution 167 is a resolution authorizing the release of a performance bond and waiver of a maintenance bond for the Willingboro Town Center Manager LLC. This is the Starbucks location, the development. They did provide a planning bond to the township while they were going under or performing all of their work. The work has been completed satisfactory. It was recommended by the engineer that the performance bond be released. We are going to waive the maintenance bond because it is just a percentage of the total construction cost, and the amount of the maintenance bond would literally be just enough to maybe cover some landscaping and shrubbery. So we didn't feel that it was really that essential for what we believe to be a good community partner here in Willingboro. Resolution 168 is a resolution designating blocks 2, 7.01, 5.01, 5.01 Lot 3, 5.01 Lot 3 with the qualifier, and several other blocks and lots along Route 130 as a condemnation redevelopment area, and directing the planning board to prepare a redevelopment plan. Resolution number 169 is a resolution of the Council of the Willingboro Township endorsing a fourth round housing element and fair share plan. Resolution 170 is a resolution of the council to approve a fourth round affordable housing trust fund spending plan and requesting program and court approval of the spending plan. And there is one more resolution in your packet, which is number 2025 dash.
Is it the Diamond Construction?
Yes.
one? It'll be Resolution 2025-171, and it is the last couple pages in your packet, Council.
And that was the resolution that Mr. Chipola was referring to in his report. What had happened, just so full clarity, Diamond Construction was awarded a contract to build the outdoor fitness court. The contract award was $54,484. There was an error in the bid document, and Diamond Construction, because they did not provide certain information, did not get the addendum. They went in, they did build the fitness court according to the specifications, but then turned around and gave us a change order in the amount of $47,538. We have been back and forth discussing this, and after conversations with our legal counsel and their legal counsel and the engineers, because of the circumstances surrounding those conversations, it was determined it would be just better for the township to go ahead and pay the change order, because if they had received the addendum and modified the order, the total that we would be paying them is really in line with the totals of the other bids as well. So it's kind of yeah, there was some administrative, but it would be fair and proper to pay them the monies. And we're going to go ahead and do that and get our fitness court finished. And those are all the items being presented to you this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Madam Clerk, we're going to, now I will open it up to the public for public comment on agenda items only. This public comment is for agenda items only. If you would like to speak on any of the agenda items that Mr. Harris just mentioned, you can come up to the mic in the courtroom or raise your hand online. Please state your name and address for the record. Public comment is now open. IT, is there any online? Is there someone online that would like to speak? It's a dial-in caller. You'll need to unmute your line. We can't hear you.
I don't have anything to say this right now. Okay? Hello?
Miles, you may need to raise the volume in the courtroom. We can't hear.
Hello?
There we go.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Good evening. Miles, you may need to raise the volume in the courtroom. We can't hear.
Hello?
There we go.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Good evening. Miles, you may need to raise the volume in the courtroom. We can't hear.
Hello?
There we go.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Good evening. Miles, you may need to raise the volume in the courtroom. We can't hear. In a loop.
Hello?
There we go.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
All right. Having some technical difficulties. Can we hear you online? All right. Having some technical difficulties. Can we hear you online? Difficulties. Can we hear you online? Mrs. SWH?
Yes, that's Sarah Holly. Sarah Webb Holly. That's my name. Okay, I thought for a minute you guys were playing games with who's online and who's not online. All right, couple of questions. I'm glad to see that Mr. Yes, Harris that's Sarah tonight is Holly. going to present. Sarah Webb Holly. That's my name. Excuse me? Okay, I thought for a minute you guys were playing games with who's online and who's not online. Okay, seems like it's an echo there. I want to congratulate.
Miss Holly, if you can give us a second, it seems like we have some feedback. It's looping.
Okay, thank you much. I'll wait for my 2 minutes. Echo there.
All right, Miss Holly, maybe you can try again.
Okay. See, now we're back to the black screen, which you guys
nope, we're not
said
able
that.
to hear you in the courtroom.
Okay, now you're back to the black screen, which Samantha said last week that it was user error. I had
all right,
the
it
Geek
looks like
Squad
you're
in
having
here. I
some
had the
technical
Geek Squad in here, and it's not
with
user.
our
It's not
online
user error. It's some.
tonight. I would like to apologize for that, and it seems that we may have to suspend the public comment coming from the web for this meeting. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Any other public comment in the courtroom?
Good evening. I'm just about Resolution 168. This is just a question.
Ma'am, can you please state your name and
Oh,
address for the record?
Mary Ann Covello. I live in Manor Lane in Willingboro. I just am curious, the designating this area, all these blocks to condominium redevelopment area. I'm just curious, how crowded and how many units is it going to be? Like the condominiums they just built down by the Wawa is, I mean, it's like people are squeezed together. So I'm just curious how many units are going to be approved. That's just my, concern.
Thank you, Mary. All right. Seeing no other, public comment is now closed. To respond to your question, the resolution 2025-168, it is establishing a condemnation redevelopment area. Those are vacant or underdeveloped, undeveloped, in need of redevelopment locations along Route 130. It doesn't necessarily mean there will be condominiums there, but it does designate it as a redevelopment area in need of redevelopment. No problem. Again, I am sorry for those who are online. Any questions or statements you'd like to send, you can send to our clerk, and they'll be addressed at a later date. Sorry again for the inconvenience for the online participation piece. All right, moving on. I'd like to ask council or let's do ordinances first. We'll do ordinances first, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one ordinance for introduction tonight. Ordinance number 2025-12. Can I get a motion to introduce ordinance 2025-12 titled Ordinance of the Township of Willingboro, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, amending Article 4 of the Township Code regarding the powers and duties of the Township Manager?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson, Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. And then I have two resolution. No,
I'm sorry, were we gonna have discussion?
do you want to have discussion?
Well, that was before the roll
That's
call.
what she was voting for us to discuss it. We didn't discuss.
It was just that was just the introduction. But we can go back.
That's
How
fine.
do we do that, Mr. Hall? And all the votes. All right, if you
I do have questions, concerns about this introduction.
okay.
I didn't realize she wasn't going, I thought she was polling to take it on, put it on the table, I don't know. Okay, so I put it on the table, so I retract my vote,
Rescind.
rescind my
Okay.
vote.
Okay. For the
And
record,
the second.
Councilwoman Perone would like to rescind her motion.
And
And do we have,
I will rescind my second.
and Deputy Mayor will rescind her second, so we can discuss the resolution at hand. Can I get a motion to discuss ordinance?
a roll call to rescind.
Should everyone rescind their roll call?
Okay. A roll call to rescind
Okay.
votes.
Can I get a roll call this roll call will be to rescind the motion in second. Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to discuss resolution 2025
Ordinance.
ordinance 2025-12? My apologies.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Discussion?
Yes. Thank you.
Councilwoman Brown.
Oh, thank you. So I have concern about this ordinance introduction because initially the top of the article states township manager, which already exists based off of the governance that we are embodied under, which is a council manager form of governance. So this article describes the powers and duties of the township manager. As therefore, the council, the 5 council members appoint the township manager. It outlines all of his duties and responsibilities. It is pretty lengthy, but to summarize his responsibilities, it is the powers and duties of the township manager to appoint, remove a deputy manager, appoint all department heads and other officers, subordinates, assistants, etc., with the exception, of course, the township clerk and tax assessor. My concerns are what you're trying to add. What you've added here is letter C, and it says, negotiate contracts for municipalities subject to approval of the municipal council, make recommendations concerning the nature of the location, municipal improvements, and execute municipal improvements as determined by the municipal council. That part, actually, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the next letter, which is D, deputy manager. You've included the deputy manager and responsibilities underneath the title of township manager. If you want to have a resolution for deputy manager's roles and responsibility, it should be on a separate article. But in addition to, letter D says, the deputy manager, which is the township manager, may designate a deputy manager who shall act in place of the manager in their absence and will otherwise have other functions, powers, and duties, and may be assigned by the township manager. Number 2, it says here, the deputy manager shall provide administrative and operational support to the township manager, assist with formulation, implementation, review, and control the policies and procedures and regulations regarding the administration of the township, and under the direction of the township manager, be responsible for assisting in the supervision, direction, and monitoring of the township's day-to-day operations. Thirdly, it says here, during any temporary absence of the manager, and in brackets, less than 30 days, or in the event of their disability, the deputy manager shall exercise all powers and perform the duties of that office. So that is what has been added. I have an issue with that because this already speaks to a deputy manager, which the township manager is allowed to appoint a deputy. That deputy is there in the event the township manager needs him to hold a meeting, he can't be there, such. He's not there to change our policies, make decisions on our contracts. You basically have outlined the entire job description for the township manager and have given it to the deputy. Then you say, here it says, and less than 30 days, which by way, meaning if the township manager takes a vacation for 1 week, now the deputy's there to change policies, terminate employees, build contracts, and negotiate business. That's not okay, because the way it reads initially is in the event the township manager is out of office for more than 30 days, then yes, the deputy manager can step in more than 30 days. The township manager does not go on vacation for more than 30 days. That is why it says more. But what you've placed here, it says less than 30 days. And a few months ago, okay, Mr. Harris took a vacation for what, 4 days? And you paid the deputy manager more money for stepping in and looking at emails, I guess, because it wasn't a disaster that took place. And now you're actually trying to alter the township manager's roles and responsibility. And I have a huge issue with that because according to the New Jersey Local Government Desk Book, that is the job and role responsibilities of the township manager, not the deputy. And when you look at where deputy is placed in here, the deputy is somebody that the township manager can appoint to assist him if he needs one, if we allow him to have a deputy, and if it fits into the budget. So I have a huge issue with you trying to change the law and add the deputy manager's roles and responsibility and mirror it to the township manager when the law already speaks to The person who we've hired to be the chief of this town is Mr. Harris and no one else. He can get help, but that is it. So those are my issues there, and I would like to, I know this is an introduction. I'm not exactly sure what the scheme is and what the plan is. And I feel like, because of the last meeting when Mr. Harris took a 4-day vacation and I complained about the money you wanted to pay him additionally when he already receives a salary. So now you're trying to make it indefinite, and that's not okay. This goes against the law.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perron.
So
Any other questions? from
what happens,
council?
I would like for
I
the
said thank
attorney-
you,
I would like for
Councilwoman
the
Perron.
attorney to speak to.
Thank you, Councilwoman
My
Perron.
question is to
Any
the
other
solicitor
questions from
as well.
council? Okay, seeing no other questions from council, we do have,
Are you going to have the solicitor speak to my
me.
question? I'm
Excuse
asking you,
me.
if you want an
Excuse
orderly
me,
meeting
Councilwoman Perron.
and conduct it orderly and equally to everyone, I have a question to the solicitor. I made a valid question. Do not ignore me, Madam Mayor. That's not fair.
If you would give me a chance to speak and to respond without interjecting and interrupting my speech, it will be addressed. Thank you, Councilwoman Perron.
Thank you.
Mr. Holt, if you would just explain, or Mr. Harris, if you could also explain the inclusion of this deputy manager portion into this ordinance.
So what Councilwoman Perron is stating is not necessarily incorrect. The state statute does provide that the township may appoint a deputy manager. However, there are no job duties or descriptions of the duties of the deputy manager. When we were reviewing the code of the township, we felt it was best to align what was written in our code book was very basic and out of date, to make sure that it was in line with what the state statutes provide, and everything in there is pretty much the same as what the statutes provide. However, we did add the section for the deputy manager because, as you correctly stated, when I took an 11-day vacation last year, it became a little hokey because there were no clear directions as to what the duties and powers and authority the deputy township manager actually had. So we thought it was best to put something down in writing, so if that happens in the future, it's black and white and very clear. I will thank you for pointing out the word less, because it should actually say more than 30 days. The deputy township manager would receive an adjustment in compensation, and they would then have the powers to perform all of the duties as outlined, because God forbid something could happen where I could be out for an extended period of time. And once again, this being entered into our ordinances actually establishes policies, procedures. I'm not giving any duties. It says to provide support, to assist. I'm not giving him or turning over any of the duties or responsibility to him. But yes, we will work as a team. We will work collectively together to make Willingboro a better organization.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. And yes, so thank you for correcting them more, because now that helps. However, my concern still is that it's a part of your job description. It should be a completely different article on its own. And in your article, yes, it should say you can appoint, as it does say that, you can appoint a deputy manager. But now we don't just throw in a whole person's job description when at the top of it says Article 5, Township Manager. That is the responsibilities of the township manager. So I would like for that to be its own article, pulled out on its own article, and be very careful with the words, because we are also governed by the law. We cannot make up our own laws. We can create policies, but we have to be careful that we're aligning ourselves with the law that already exists. So I would like for for our solicitor to speak to that component. Mr. Harris has already responded to the more than 30 days, because that is the truth. But as far as like pulling it out for to have it its own article, what are your thoughts on that?
Mr. Holt, could you respond to that?
Yes, you can do it that way if that is the council's desire. You can also amend the article where it says township manager and amend it to reflect and deputy manager. So that will cover your concern, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So now what about with the New Jersey local government desk book? When we do have in there, we're citing articles from the desk book. When it speaks to township managers' roles and responsibilities, it doesn't say township manager and deputy manager.
Well, the desk book is a compilation put together by a private group of lawyers
Right.
to explain from their vantage point how they are interpreting the law, but they're referring back to the statutory body of law. So I'm not sure exactly how it's set out in the desk book. If you want to pass it down to me, I'll be more than happy.
Yes, I'll actually walk it over to you. These all reference. So it's an introduction. We can take it, we can discuss it further. I don't want to belabor that piece, but you can actually hold on to it. You don't need it. Okay. So again, it's an introduction. So thank you for deciding to discuss this, because at the next council meeting, perhaps some of these things can be hashed out, which as far as the vocabulary, and Mr. Holt can take a look at the New Jersey government law desk book, which are referencing NJSA 40A throughout. But that's all my questions regarding and concerns regarding that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perone. I will say in the interim, if anyone has any questions or further issues, would like any clarification on ordinance 2025-12, please contact either the township manager, the clerk's office, or our attorney, Mr. Holt, to get your questions answered, as to not belabor the issue on the next council meeting. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we have two ordinances for public hearing and final adoption. Ordinance 2025-10. I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance 2025-10, titled Ordinance to Add a Chapter Introducing Second-Story Deck and Balcony Restrictions in All Residential Zones to the Code of the Township of Willingboro. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance, please do so. Seeing none, I'd like to request a motion to finally adopt ordinance number 10.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, the next ordinance we have for a public hearing tonight is ordinance number 11. I'd like to open public hearing on ordinance 2025-11, titled Ordinance to Introduce a New Chapter Regulating New Convenience Stores, Operating Hours, and Proximity Restrictions in the Code of the Township of Willingboro. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance, please do so.
Anything, Pat Lindsay Harvey, Bedford Lane. I'm very happy to see this. We have far too many convenience stores in town as it is, and I'm very glad to see that you're going to put some restrictions on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public? Seeing none, I'd like to close public comment on ordinance 2025-11. Can I get a motion to finally adopt ordinance number 2025-11?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call.
Any discussion?
Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes. Now, council, I'd like to ask if there's any suggestions for removal from resolutions for removal from a consent agenda. All right. Seeing none, I'd like to make a motion for a consent agenda for resolutions 2025-145 through 2025-171.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh.
And just for clarity, Mayor, it's Resolution 145, 148, and then starting from 154 to 171.
Sorry.
just To put that on the record. Roll call for creating the consent agenda. Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
And to approve, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda for resolutions 2025-145, 2025-148, and 2025-154 through 2025-171.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Point of order. It seems like the entire virtual component of the meeting has been disconnected.
Mr. Harris, will you be able to confirm? And while we're in that, Mr. Holt, would you be able to just explain our mandates for holding a public meeting according to the law?
All meetings have to be noticed and published in the newspaper. They also must be published or posted in conspicuous places. The public must be allowed to attend. The governing body must be visible. With regard to the necessity of virtual meetings, there's no necessity or directive that you have virtual meetings. However, you are having virtual meetings, so I think it's important that you take advantage of the opportunity to try and repair whatever issue is taking place with the virtual meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Holt.
I think people have texted, they cannot hear what Mr. Holt has just stated. You got to speak a little bit louder into the microphone. We're going to get the meeting back up. We were waiting for you to come back too.
IT, Zoom is still running. I don't
Yeah.
know what the issue is here.
They saying they still
Zoom is
still live and can hear.
They can hear but not see? Is that what you're saying?
No, they can see.
Both? Okay, okay. All right. Maybe that's why they couldn't hear Mr. Holt. Okay.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perone. All right, moving along to our treasurer's report. There's none at this time. And Madam Clerk, for the approval of minutes.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting and executive session meeting minutes from June 3rd?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Councilwoman Perone? Oh, discussion?
Any discussion on the minutes?
No.
Seeing none, roll call.
people want to speak online. They said that they're raising their hands. I'm just letting you know.
So again, our IT person just stated that the program, whatever the program is that connects the Zoom to the monitors, just kind of did its own update and is in the middle of updating. That's what the issue is.
So how are they able to still hear us if it's updating?
Because Zoom is still running, so they are seeing and hearing us through Zoom.
We're just not seeing it on the
The
screen.
program that connects
Okay.
to these monitors is updating, so that's why the disconnection is in here.
Oh. It's not, it's our software,
Mhm.
not the Zoom.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We're in the middle of a motion.
This roll call is for the minutes. Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Madam Clerk, for your updates.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I only have a couple things to report this evening. I know it was a full agenda. The first thing I wanted to touch on was our primary election was last Tuesday, June 10th. I believe things personally, from a clerk's perspective, ran a lot smoother than the November election. The county added 2 noticeable features that I believed helped open communication with technical problems that arose during the day. They added a hotline specifically for municipal clerks that someone was always manning, so any municipal clerk could call if there was an emergency. And then they also added a ticketing system on the e-poll books to allow workers to enter their problems, which just got the problem to IT faster and they could track the problems. So that was very helpful. On the early voting side, I wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Harris in Public Works for fixing the AC in the library during the early election. The first couple days was a little hot, but after that, all of the poll workers were very thankful and appreciative for all the work we did in that room, and they said it got a lot better throughout the week. As of yesterday, the unofficial count for the election, these are numbers that I got off the Burlington County election site. Anyone can go and see these. They're not the official count. There's still a couple of vote by mail-in ballots that are coming in, but these are the numbers I have so far. 654 votes were cast during early election for just primary election. I know there was a bigger number on the screen during the library that was for both elections. 3,542 votes were cast on election day. 114 were provisional ballots. 2,999 vote by mail ballots were issued. 1,725 vote by mail ballots were received back. This is a total of 5,921 ballots that have been cast and recorded as of now, which is about a 23% turnout rate. Again, these are unofficial numbers. You can go and on the Burlington County website and you can kind of watch them update it. I should be getting the actual official numbers in the next like 2 weeks. Fovionics came and took our first fade of records for digitization last Thursday. That was really exciting. They were able to take about 8 long banker boxes and 10 filing cabinets worth of records to digitize. They'll be returning within 2 to 3 weeks to go over the new filing system, and they'll bring all the records back. And then for solicitors in town right now, there's no new solicitors since the last meeting. So the approved solicitors in town right now are 3 people from Allied Experts, 1 person from Home Solutions, 1 person from Green Exterior Solutions, 1 person from Home Smart, 11 people from EcoShield, 3 people from Top Line Roofing, and 1 person from the Fruit of Islam, which is a nonprofit license. And that is all I have at this time, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any questions for our clerk? Seeing none, we have no unfinished business at this time. And, or I'll say for unfinished business, you have received in your packet some information on the resolution of need and HMFA pilot resolution. We will be discussing those in executive session this evening. No new business at this time.
I have new business.
Councilwoman Perone.
Yes, thank you. I do want to say this technology piece is unacceptable. This has not been the first nor second time, Mr. Harris. I understand our technology department had left, but we do need to have additional plan, another plan. Like this is not working. I've never seen this much interruption at the meeting since we came back from COVID. So if we can do something, Mr. Harris, for the next meeting, something different. I don't know what's going on, but people have their hand raised to speak. And unfortunately, although you're saying, Gary, that they can hear us, they can see us, can the IT guy see who has their hand raised? And if he would promote them, can they speak? Or is that not happening? It's a question. Does it work that way or no?
And again, as I was sharing, the software that connects this to Zoom is updating. And he just communicated, if it doesn't finish updating before public comment, people won't be able to speak. For some reason, it is causing the computer to freeze, and I can't control the mouse. I agree, this is an inconvenience, but who knew this was going to happen? And we did go out to bid for managed IT services. We received those bids back on Friday. We will be reviewing the responses, and hopefully we will have an IT company in place for you to vote on by the next meeting in July.
And I'd just like to add that our IT department is working really diligently to try to rectify this issue. I've completed weddings at about 2:30 this afternoon, and our IT staff was in the room setting up the room for the meeting tonight and has been working on that since about 2:30 p.m. this afternoon. So they are trying really diligently to make sure that there's access. You still can see and hear the meeting online, but according to the law and the sunshine ruling and those things, we are only mandated to notice for the meeting and to conduct the meeting in public where the public can see us and is able to attend. Am I correct, Mr. Holt? And make comments. The online piece is not a mandatory feature. This council has made an effort to provide the most access, really than any other organization in town, for residents to participate in meetings. Traditionally, we do offer the in-person, the online, you can dial in, you can even participate from online, which some meetings do not allow you to do that. And the meeting is streamed and publicized afterwards so that you can go back and rewatch, which some organizations in town also don't do that. So we are doing our best to provide the best access to our public meetings. This is an unfortunate and inconvenient event that has happened that is out of our control for this meeting, but we will continue to stay in compliance here and host the meeting in the public. Councilwoman Perone, you had new business?
I do. And my new business is pertaining to, I was actually going to bring this up much earlier in the meeting, but we had so much to award our different recognitions of people who received awards. But this is pertaining to, I'm calling a point of order, but it is new. This is regarding to Councilwoman Tiffany Worthy. She attended a school board meeting 2 weeks ago and has accepted a contract for a preschool education program. She was awarded the contract to All Things Possible. Tiffany Worthy, Councilman Worthy, is a sitting councilwoman, and according to NJSA 40A 9-22.5, council member or family member is financially involved with the company holding a contract. The member must disclose their interest. They must recuse themselves from discussion, negotiations, or votes. Accepting any form of financial gain or using insider information to benefit, such as meeting with the superintendent, to benefit the contract business can result in violations of NJSA 40A: 9-22.5, and even criminal penalties. With that stated, and there is much more, Councilman Worthy, and I will share with you that you are in violation at this time, and you need to make a choice. No different than I told Ms. Jacqueline Jennings. She cannot sit on council and vote herself to the MUA. You cannot sit on council and get awarded to the school district, whereby we take the taxpayers' money and pay them, and then they take the money and give it to you for your daycare. That is unethical. and I'm not going to be quiet about it. So you have to choose, Tiffany Worthy, you have to decide, you reject the contract or you step down from the council seat. And this is a public notice, so that's where you are aware. That's my new business.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perron. Any further comment? Any further new business? Seeing none, this is the open public comment for general comments. This public comment will be for 4 minutes each. Please come up to the mic, state your name and address. This public comment is for general items. Public comment is now open.
Hello, my name is Ann Rapisarda. I live 5 Wellington Drive in Lumberton, New Jersey. We've met before. I'm the vice president of the Friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter. I'm hoping you listen to our organization with open minds and open hearts. As you may recall, we are a nonprofit organization that raises over $500,000 a year to support the county animal shelter. We pay all their advanced medical, dog training, provide foster care, low-cost spay and neuter, community cat management, and many other expenses that the county is not able to provide. By doing so, we help reduce the burden of these costs on taxpayers in Willingboro and other towns throughout the county. We are working very hard to get our county animal shelter to a no-kill status and speaking to all the towns in our county. Stopping the needless intake of healthy cats to the county shelter through working with us on progressive approaches with proven results is a prime way to help. We are really happy to report that we've had many positive developments on this front with other towns throughout our county, but unfortunately, we cannot include Willingboro at this time. I've been to many town meetings throughout this county over the last few years, and I thought it very interesting that this is the only town I've spoken at that brings up God at your meetings. You even have a prayer at the start of your meetings. And yet here we are trying to help God's innocent creatures, the cats outside in your town, because humans have failed them in some way. And it doesn't appear anyone is interested in putting words and beliefs into compassionate action. A belief in God should apply to everything, at least it does for me. That is one reason I care so deeply about the animals in need in your community. We had a private meeting with some of you and presented facts that Willingboro is the second highest town for dumping cats at our shelter. Not a great honor to say the least, especially when it results in some of them getting killed. Last year, 183 cats were dumped at the shelter, with 113 of them being kittens. TNVR, trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return, is sorely needed in your town. We understand your town administrator does not like this approach. However, when he referred the matter to the elected members of the council, we did not hear any further response from you. This proposed ordinance is to properly regulate the process and encourage people to fix these cats, not just feed them. It is also providing additional safety for our volunteers already trying to help. We are here asking again for your attention to this matter and to support our efforts. It comes at no cost to your town beyond what you already currently are paying for. I am asking if you all will do what so many of your colleagues are already doing in other towns in our county and around the state. Our members living and working in your town would like an answer from an elected official. Can we get some commitment to move forward with this in a way that benefits all of us? We would really appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Reposado.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Marian Covello, 103 Manor Lane. I'm here tonight because of animal cruelty and Willingboro's inability to do anything positive about it. I have, for 3 years, I've been witnessing one of my neighbors' animal abuse, and it's so severe, it violates New Jersey Assembly Bill A803. Without going into detail, he has two animals, 2 dogs, keeps them for several months, severe cruelty under this bill, and then he or the resident gets rid of them. A few months later, gets 2 more dogs and same abusive behavior. I finally, when the fourth one came about a month and a half, situation came about a month and a half ago, I wrote my citizens report to the Willingboro Police, and I didn't hear anything back. So I was so upset because I witnessed this. It's very close to my house. A second police citizen report, no response. Then a third one within the same week, because I'm past this house all the time. This time the police. Then I spoke to a lawyer friend of mine, and he said the police don't want to be bothered. That's not their business. Call animal control. So I found animal control, called them. They told me to ask for the humane enforcement officer in Willingboro. I called Willingboro Police again, and I was told there is no humane enforcement officer in Willingboro, and for me to call the animal control officer again. I called her the same number back again, and she says the police have to take care of it. She says, we don't have any, we can't do any enforcement, we can't do any investigation because we don't have guns, we don't have protective gear, we don't know what we're coming into. I said, can you report this to your higher authority? She says, no, we're not a reporting agency either. So I said, well, what do you do? And she just kept quiet. So meanwhile, one of the police officers did call me back, and he was very polite, took my information, said he would investigate. Then he did call me back later that night, but this family snowed him under because what he was reporting back to me was not true. And so and it's not his job to investigate. We should have a humane enforcement officer. And then I researched New Jersey law. Says each municipality and police department under New Jersey law is required to designate a municipal humane law enforcement officer. Now, our budget that was approved in April has the same contract with the New Jersey Animal Control. So we are paying about $60,000 in taxpayers' money for this very inefficient and our team, because the woman said they have a team, and yet their team does not do any investigation. They do not do any reporting. And meanwhile, when the policeman called me that night, this is just less than a week ago, he told me it's like the family was mocking him publicly. Then they got another dog, and they moved them from the big cage, which is not a big cage, to a little cage that the dogs, the top of their head touches the top of the cage. And then he kept them in there. And then it rained that night. He covered, the next day, the little cage with the two dogs was covered with a plastic sheet. You couldn't even see if there was any dogs in there. But 3 days later, one of the sides was
Mrs.
open,
Covello,
and there
it's
was
your
one
time.
dog in there. Anyhow,
Mrs.
Ma'am,
Covello, your time is
it's
up.
your
I'm sorry,
time.
ma'am.
I
Sorry.
just wanted to report this because we are paying for a very inefficient team, and it is
Thank you.
New Jersey law.
Thank you for your comment. Any other public comment?
Good evening again. Pat Lindsay Harvey, Medford Lane. I want to thank council on behalf of WCDC. We're looking forward to restoring the Pictorial House. We've done a lot of work on as far as history is concerned, so we're looking forward to that. Second comment is we hear a lot about One Willingboro. So I want to make a suggestion to council. I want to make a suggestion that you host a meeting with all the autonomous entities to meet together and to talk about the wants and needs and desires of our residents with reference to programs and services. It should be something that's very collaborative, that we can work together instead of working in silos, which is apparently what we are working in now, which sometimes results in duplication of efforts. So if we're all working together, we're all working on different things versus, doing the same things. And then I think in that sense, we can get even more programs and more services. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lindsay Harvey. Next.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Sked. I live at 21 3rd Avenue, Roebling, New Jersey. I'm also part of the Friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter. And I come at this from the perspective of I'm part of the team in the shelter, working with staff, desperately trying to find savable lives among the cats. Once we get into March and April, the deluge of kittens comes in and we are literally drowning in kittens. And we have a foster program that doubles capacity of the shelter to get those animals into foster homes. But stray cats really, once they hit around 4 months old, they really are very hard to get into foster care, and they're very hard to assess whether it's a socialized animal that's just afraid in a very scary environment, or if it's truly unsocialized and feral. We try to get these animals out however we can. We try to work with staff, work with the cats in the cages, which is not always safe. We try to work with animals in rooms if they're seeming like maybe it's a cage problem. And we continuously are working among ourselves, comparing notes on these animals. But the reality is that many of these animals have nowhere to go. We try to have animals go to barns. Barn owners don't want straight up feral animals either. And so, we are trying on a 7-day turnaround to save lives. And once those kittens come in, volunteers' attention goes to kittens. So I'm really hoping that something like a TNR program can come into Willingboro, because it's an important piece of saving lives and also cutting the congestion of animals. A stray cat can start reproducing at 4 months old, and she can have litters of up to 6 to 8 kittens every single litter, and that can happen up to 4 times a year. And then those babies are making babies. And it's just something that explodes without neutering these animals. So it's part of a multi-pronged approach of helping people keep their animals when they're in distress, helping people understand the importance of spaying and neutering their pets so that they don't have unwanted, unintended pregnancies, helping to deal with the animals in the building so that we can find those savable animals and get them adopted into loving homes, helping with finding homes for the less socialized animals, such as in barns where some of them can, find a job, not need to deal with people, be productive, keep down rodents, that sort of thing. So I really do hope that you would be willing to have a dialogue with us to see if there's a way that trap, neuter, release can be part of Willingboro's legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sked.
How you doing?
Good evening.
Darrell Coleman, 28 Petunia. I'm coming here to kind of clear up some issues and concerns that council may or may not have, or I don't know who has the main concerns. It seems like the township manager. There's information being spewed about us that we're violating permits. The only permit we've ever put in here is an ABC permit. That has been denied by you guys. We've never put in a special use permit to allow us to have events at our facility. I don't know why it's continued to be misconstrued that these two pieces of paper are the same. They are not the same. They hold different values. We continue to get denied for our social affairs permits for different accusations that aren't true. We're dealing with the issues with the taxes that's going through whatever you guys are going to deal with and talk to us about. The noise complaints, we've had 26 noise complaints. 16 have no validity at all. The cops came, said nothing was going on. The other 10 times they came, they never had to come back. I don't understand what the issue or problem is. There's been no communication open between you guys or whoever it is that has the problem. There's continued to be emails about us. There was an event said that it was supposed to be at our facility where it clearly stated that the event was at an undisclosed location. Could have just paid the $10. It would have told you where the event was. You would have known that it wasn't at our facility. So we're just trying to open the doors to find out how we can be in compliance. Everything that you guys have asked us to do, be done. So I don't know how we can resolve the issues, the attacks, the police being sent at us. I don't know what the issue is, but if we can resolve it, we would love to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Hello, good evening. I'm Emily Randall at 6 Marlborough Lane, and I would just like to be possibly a new voice in regard to advocating for the trap neuter release program for the Burlington County Animal Shelter. I actually just recently moved into Willingboro as of March. I have lived in 4 different states, and to say that I've only been here since March and the amount of stray cats that I've seen in this area is quite remarkable. Maybe not in the best way. I went to the animal shelter. I like to volunteer at local animal shelters as much as I can. And I went and asked the question about what could be done. I was told about the trap, neuter, vaccinate program, and that unfortunately it's not active, approved in Willingboro. So I just wanted to come be a new voice for your consideration for approval to have it here. It's not very fun to have stray cats around your area when you want to put flower beds in and you find cat poop and it smells like cat pee around your house when you come home from work and you see stray cats everywhere. I've seen at least 4 dead cats on the side of the road or in the middle of the street, and I know nobody really wants to see that. So it's just something that's been on my mind, and I heard about the council meeting today and I felt compelled to come and speak about it. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Randall.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Sewella Hanson, and I live at 467 West Country Club Drive in West Hampton, New Jersey. I am a volunteer and board member for FOBCAS. I gave you my spiel when we were here once before, so I'm not going to bore you with it. But I'm going to ask everyone who's come in support of TNVR to please stand up so that they can see just how important it is to your constituents. This is something that we're trying to solve. I personally have seen it work in my own backyard. So we're asking you once again, please to look at the ordinances that we can give you as drafts. We know that this works. We're trying to help a situation, and you can see that there are a lot of people who are really have heartfelt feelings about trying to solve this problem. There's a lot of time we've spent on this, and we're just asking you to help us. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hanson.
Good evening. Brian Hackett, 1 Laurel Court, Wrightstown, New Jersey. First, I just want to make a mention. At one time in my life, I was on your side of the dais, and I know sometimes it's a thankless job. So I think on behalf of all of us, I want to thank you all for your service to the town and for listening to us with an open heart and an open mind. In my personal life here in Burlington County as a resident, I work with and support FOBCAS on these issues. And in my professional life, I work every day with municipalities around the state on these very matters. Currently, I'm working with the city of Newark on the exact same issue. I'm glad to say that they're going to be moving forward with a TNVR ordinance for the entire city of Newark. Essex County Commissioners fund it $200,000 a year. This is something that's happening virtually everywhere. Unfortunately, at the moment, Willingboro is an exception in not fully participating in this. And, there's been some discussion tonight about important updates being made to your local ordinances in various ways, shapes, and forms. And I have reviewed the codes on animals, and this is no criticism to anyone. I see this a lot around the state in my work, but there's some parts of it that severely need updating. There's references to animals born in 1976 in the code. So I don't think parts of it have been updated since some of us have not been alive for 50 years. So, or we were babies.
opts in, they go to a clinic. It's a subsidized program where Bobcast is paying for part of it. The public is paying for part of it. It's not any kind of tax dollars, anything like that. The cats come back, get basic medical care, and get released. However, we see so many kittens come in, and everybody loves babies, but these guys are sick and injured and dying. Either their mother wasn't taking care of them, their mother got trapped, maybe got sent to the shelter, didn't make it out, things along those lines. So TMVR really doesn't come at any cost to any of the taxpayers. We're all volunteer ran. People are very compassionate about saving these animals, improving the lives of the animals as well. Providing the food and water and shelter to these animals is one thing, but getting them spayed, neutered, it's babies making babies out there, and it just perpetuates the problem. So introducing some ordinances where this would be allowed to come in to trap these cats, get them fixed, and release them back to live a happy life, and not make any more babies, not make any more problems. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barr.
Hi, my name is Janice Ludden, and I'm from Hainesport Township. And I just wanted a different perspective on this. In 2018, Hainesport passed an ordinance, and that opened a door for a group of volunteers. We're called Hainesport Community Cats, and it makes it possible for us to do fundraising, to educate the township residents at different events on the importance of spay and neuter for their pets, of if you're feeding, to fix them. And because we're able to do fundraising, people will call me and they've been feeding, but they didn't know what to do. Like, they just felt like, oh, I see this poor cat, it's in the winter, I want to feed it. And then now they have 2 cats, 4 cats, 8 cats. And, the last place I trapped, there was 13 cats and kittens. And, because the ordinance is there, it allows us to be public with fundraising and helping residents who just out of the goodness of their heart are feeding cats and don't know what to do to get them fixed. So from Hainsport's point of view, it was a very good thing for the ordinance to be passed for our town.
Thank you.
My name is Robert Mason, 121 Holbrook Lane, Willingboro. I'm the president of Elite Social Club. Just like TNR, I'm here because we reached out to the council. I personally sent several emails and have not received a response back. And I'm trying to figure out where's the disconnect with the council that nobody's reaching back to us or TNR when there's matters in this community that would like to be resolved. In my emails, I've stated that township manager has I am expressing my concerns. The township manager has been overzealous to operations of our club. There has been false accusations, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. Numerous police reports of false claims. There has been accusations of tax information that's untrue. There has been just several things that have been untrue that the township mayor has put out about us. And just like TNR, I don't want to we will have to bring community members to voice these problems if we're not getting any messages back from the council. And all I'm asking is that somebody reach back out to us to tell us what are the issues that are going on and not just leave our emails unheard. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mason.
Hi, my name is Lissa Gelman. I'm 15 Medford Lane. I came out in support of the TNR as well. I've read a lot about it. I've seen a lot of things happen with it. It is a great program. It does help cats. I know in my backyard, well, actually my neighbor's backyard on Marlboro Lane, the their shed attracts a lot of cats, and and some of the other neighbors, elderly people mostly, feed the cats. So we wind up with colonies of cats every year. Last year, 16 cats were removed from the yard behind ours and sent to the shelter. A lot of them did not make it out. It does cost a lot more to put them in a shelter and euthanize them than it does to do the trap, neuter, and release program. It eventually does reduce the amount of cats around. And also, I have two dogs that I frequently can't let stay in the backyard because they are barking at the cats that are always coming through our yards and tormenting them as well. Some of them are a little more assertive and they're not afraid of my dogs. So, and I'm worried about what they carry as well. So that was what I wanted to talk about on that. One of my other neighbors that lived on Manor Lane addressed an issue with a house that has a terrible conditions for their dogs, and they take these large pit bulls and they put them in a very tiny cage that holds two dog houses, and there's just barely enough room for the dogs to turn around. So I don't know who I'm supposed to speak to about that, but I would like to get involved on that one as well. So if somebody can tell me who to go to and talk in a more informed way and not babble, I'd be happy to hear that as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gilman. Any other public comment?
Good evening. I'm Susan McCarty from Lumberton Township, also a Bobcast member since 2016. One of my things that I do is foster kittens, and probably a lot of them from Willingboro. The biggest impact that I have seen with TNR is I've worked the past 5 years with my vet, actually more than that, because she does a lot of outreach to educate people about keeping their animals, keeping them healthy, having them fixed. And for the past 5 years, I've worked with a TNR program in honor of a little girl, 27-year-old vet tech that died trying to save a feral cat. She was killed. So we honor her every year by having trappers come in, and in the 5 years, we've probably spayed and neutered 500 animals. It has greatly reduced the population. And if the vets and vet techs and volunteers can come together and donate their time, and we can donate money and food to help to get these animals trapped, then a free program that we can provide to your township would be really beneficial to these animals. So I'm asking you to really consider this, and it is important. These are God's creatures. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McCarty.
Good evening. My name is Kate Brown. I live at 2153 Old York Road in Bordentown or Florence Township. I think you've heard from the rest of my colleagues with Friends of Burlington County Animal Shelter how important this is to us and what a difference it can make in your township. The numbers speak for themselves, and I see it also on our emails that come in with residents requesting help with, I have stray cats, my neighbor has cats, there's kittens, what do I do? It's endless, especially this time of year. But we really need your help to address this problem. I've seen myself the benefits of it, trapping at other colonies and in other parts of the county, and I've seen the horrors of sick kittens and things like that. It's no good for anyone. And you've heard some of the concerns from your residents about the overpopulation as well, some of the lifestyle impacts that it can have on them, as well as the cats themselves. I think this is mutually beneficial. And the last thing I just want to say is that Friends is coming to you with solutions, not just problems. And I hope that you'll take that opportunity to kind of make it an easy fix and let us help you address this problem that's undeniable in the township. So thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.
Good evening.
I am also here with the people who.
Can you please state your name and address?
Sorry. My name is Isabel Feiner, and I live in Delran on Waterfront Drive. I am here with the people supporting TNR. I'm graduating in 2 days. I'm going to college. I'm spending the majority of my time in Willingboro trapping cats. Have you ever had to explain to a young child in the car why there is a cat dead on the side of the road? Organs out, leg missing. If you haven't, I am very happy for you because it is not an easy conversation to have. There are plenty of deer on the side of the road, possums, raccoons, skunks, and you see them when you pass and you do not care because there are so many animals like that all over New Jersey. There is overpopulation. Guess what will happen when you continue to let the cat population get out of control? You will see more cats, and you will have to explain to your daughter, to your son, to your niece, to your nephew, why there is a cat that looks like your house cat on the side of the road and how it's different because they live outside, so they have a shorter lifespan. Do you know how hard it is for a 6-year-old to comprehend that? It is mortifying. I have spoken to the neighbors and the people living in Willingboro. Some of them are happy about the cats because they deal with the rat problem. They deal with deterrence for the birds. Some of them hate them because they poop in their flower beds. And many of them do not know what to do about the problem because it is unbelievably difficult to make a change because there are no ordinances to help us. I am 18 years old and I'm spending every day after school for several hours until nightfall doing this. And my mom always tells me, what are you doing? Why are you spending your graduation money on getting these cats fixed and vaccinated? Who else is going to do it? Who else is going to help me with this? Do you want to know what she said? Nothing. Because she knows that there is nothing to help right now. So we renovated our room into a kennel. I have 13 kittens from Willingboro right now. I have 5 adults. 3 of them were just brought to PetSmart to help get adopted. This is not my job. And I recognize that there are plenty of other issues you guys have to deal with. Colleagues making bad choices, going against every law in the book, big golf fundraisers. I've seen them all. I heard them. I was here. I was listening. But this is a problem. They are living beings, and if you do not care about them, if you are not a cat person, fine, look at it from a different perspective. They will harbor diseases. They will continue to make problems. They will give you a reason to have that conversation with your daughter, with your son, with your niece, with your nephew. Mom, why is there a cat that looks like Mr. Whiskers on the side of the road? No child should have to deal with that conversation. No child should have to wrestle with those emotions. Yet they do, because of that overpopulation. We need to make a difference. There are plenty of issues. This is one of them. This is your job, not my job. My job is to go to college and get a degree. But I'm going to Stockton. I'm going an hour and a half away, and I'm probably going to have to come back on the weekends because you guys will not take advantage of this opportunity before it gets too late. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Feiner.
Good evening. Thank you for listening to all of us. My name is Jade Kolb, and I'm at 15 Ginger Lane, and I am here in support of the TNR program. Since I joined Fobcast in 2020, I have assisted, aided, trapped 96 cats in Willingboro. And I love cats. I understand that not everybody loves cats, and that's okay. And if you don't love cats, and if you're not concerned about the health issues, and if it's just really not something that you care about, I have stories about the people that I work with. It's bigger than a cat problem. It's a people issue. I've met people who have lost adult children. I've met people who have had adult children with injuries. I've had people whose widowers, the cats are their only family. That's it. That's it. And they're going to continue to feed these cats, and they're going to hide it, and they're not going to reach out for help because they're afraid the cats are going to be taken to the shelter. The cats are going to be killed. I had one person say, promise me this cat is coming back." It's more than just the cats. It's the people. And don't they're afraid, and they're not going to stop, because sometimes, in some cases, this is all these people have. This is their family, and there's no other way for them to get love or feel love. And there's a lot. This town is nice, it's great, there's a lot of things going on. There's people who they themselves have some sort of anxiety. They can't go out and they can't socialize with other people, and not taking advantage of what Fobcast is offering is, quite frank, it's just silly. It's silly. They're saying, "Hey, this is happening anyway. We're gonna help you do it, and we're gonna clear this up." And having these cats as a colony, once they're fixed, they will not allow other cats to come in. When ACO takes these colony out of a person's backyard, out of the streets, and brings it to the shelter, other cats move in. A male cat will travel up to 6 miles if he thinks he can get females. And that's going to happen. But if you have a fixed colony, there's no females there to attract these males coming from other places. They won't even allow them just to come eat because there's only enough food for them. And so, again, council members, thank you very much for this, but please, please listen and listen. It's not just a cat problem, it's a people issue. And that's some small way that you can help people who are unable to get out of the house. They're unable to make these social connections that they need. They're feeling this love from these cats. And whether you like cats or not, how they feel, this is how this person feels. And I can talk to you for 10 years about all these different families that I met. But please, thank you for listening, and please take advantage of this podcast offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Strulia, and I'm at 24 Tinker Drive in Mount Holly. I just want to share my experience as a volunteer with the Friends of the Burlington County Animal Shelter. I've been helping residents in Willingboro for the last 5 years rescue cats. It's not always been a good outcome. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. But I just feel like this is a really good opportunity to help tackle this incredibly enormous problem. It's not just a problem here, but many of the residents don't want cats mating in their backyards. They don't want injured cats. They want nothing to do with them. They just want them removed. And it's not that simple of a solution. But we are bringing solutions to help reduce the population. And that's really the only way it's going to stop. And so we really, really hope that you'll take advantage of this and work with us. We appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Julia.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Cindy Kosov, and I live at 90 Arrowhead Drive in Burlington. I have to say, I hate public speaking, so it says a lot that I'm up here. I have been a Fobcast volunteer since it started for around 14 or 15 years. I currently hold a lot of positions. I do accounts payable. I am the entertainment committee for our events. I do coin box collections. I walk dogs. I do some TNR. I'm proud to be part of Fobcast and believe in our mission to help as many homeless animals as possible. The stray cat problem is a huge issue, especially in Willingboro, and for the county shelter and its staff to have to deal with the problems that are created. I don't believe anybody would want to have to work there on a daily basis with the overcrowding experienced during kitten season. Not to mention the obvious, having to euthanize healthy cats because they were born outside and not socialized. The shelter does an amazing job, but they are exhausted on a daily basis. You can help them by allowing healthy community cats to be fixed and returned. also by encouraging your residents to fix the strays that they're already feeding. Ignoring the situation isn't working. Somebody needs to take responsibility and try to elevate Willingboro to be a more friendly town, animal-friendly town. Please don't let animal cruelty be your legacy. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if there's no further public comment. Good evening.
Kathy Warren, and I'm a former resident of Rittenhouse Park. I live in Willingboro, I live in Morristown currently. I have recently become a volunteer, and I am sitting here thinking to myself, who else comes to you and says, we will do this for you? We're not asking any of you to spend any more of your time or your effort or your money to put this program into place. How many times does a town have somebody come to you and say, let us help you? How many times do you have to go find people to do something? And I think you'll be shocked at the amount of people that are in your town that actually would be supporting it. Nobody wants cats pooping and peeing in their yards. I used to live on Rittenhouse Drive in Rittenhouse Park, like I said. Every time it was cat season, there would be just nothing but cats under my windows every single night having fights. And these are cats practically killing each other, just killing each other for survival, for territory. As one of the other volunteers mentioned, people think that, oh, I have these cats in my backyard. Let me just trap them and take them, 10 miles from my house and then dump them in somebody else's neighborhood, which now those colonies will kill that cat because he doesn't belong there. You can't just pick cats up and move them someplace else and make them somebody else's problem. And what we're doing here is we're bringing something to you. I just can't even understand it. If a vendor walked into my business tomorrow and said, I will give you this for free. I'll do this consulting for you, which I normally charge $250 or $350 an hour for, and I'm going to come to your town and I'm going to do it for you for free. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm going to do everything. What would I say? I would say, sure, that's a smart business decision. So I'm asking you to look at it not from, do you like cats? Do you hate dogs? Do you do this? Do you do that? I'm sure probably some of you have at least dogs. And if you could picture your dog being born with 5 or 6 litter mates, and now picture 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 of them being out in the woods on their own, by themselves. Last year, I was driving down 295 and I had to send a text. So I said, to be safe, let me just pull into this hotel parking lot. And so I pulled into the hotel parking lot in Bordentown where the Love's truck stop is, where there are probably hundreds of cat colonies, hundreds of cats, okay? I literally pull into the parking lot, just sitting in my car, sending my texts, and the next thing I know, it's like a commercial. There are literally no less than 50 or 60 or 70 cats surrounding my car. So a man walks out of the hotel and I said, what is going on here? And he said, oh, you have the same car as a woman who comes and feeds them. If you would just let us come in and trap these cats, I just don't understand why you wouldn't let us in. We're here to help. It doesn't cost anything. And like I said, who would refuse free help for something that's this important? Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, public comment is now closed. We'll address some of the public comment. We'll start with Mr. Harris. Would you be able to have Chief Bucks come up and talk about the animal abuse issues or our humane officers?
through our contract with New Jersey Animal Control, they, I believe, have 2 or 3 HELO officers that are authorized to investigate animal control. And within our police department, we have a minimum of 3 detectives, possibly a 4th, that are also certified as HELOs, and they have the ability to do those investigations, and they have done that. The lady that came up here and spoke earlier, she had to leave. I gave her my business card, and I told her to call me tomorrow so we can have further discussions, and I can get her to the right point of contact to move forward.
Okay, thank you, Chief Bucks.
And if I may, can add on to that, she did mention, I believe it was Miss Marion Pacello. She did mention that there are statutes regarding animal control services, and Willingboro is in compliance with all of the state statutes requiring animal control services.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. We also had Pat Lindsay Harvey. Thank you for your service with the CDC, and we look forward to the progress that we'll be making on the revitalization of the Futuro House through the MOU. Also, I will take back that request for a group meeting and work to set something up for the entire community. Also, we had Daryl Coleman and Robert Mason from Diamond Dogs and Elite 609. Thank you for coming to this meeting. I have received your emails. I was under the impression that the tax issue was being investigated by our tax assessor, and there were other requests and I guess points that were being evaluated by the planning board, that they were working on that, the chair of the planning board, as well as some of the administration. So I will find out what's going on in that piece, and I will contact you to update you on the status of that. All right. We also had a number of folks from Fobcast advocating for the TNVR issue. I'll say thank you all for coming and voicing your opinion and your stance on the issue here at our meeting tonight. We are still reviewing the TMVR ordinance, but I'm sure, as you can understand, there are some other issues that are wrapped within that. It's not just a free program that will benefit the town. There are some unintended consequences of that program that we are evaluating and making sure that are beneficial. And also, as a minority majority community, it does bring some angst to our residents to have trappers walking on their properties, coming and doing things. So we just want to make sure that the ordinance that we pass is in line with supporting not only the trap, neuter, vaccinate, and release of the animals, but also protects our residents' safety and privacy, and is doing what's best in the general for Willingboro. So we understand your concern. We understand your urgency. I am continuing to meet with administration as well as our police department to make sure that we develop a TNVR ordinance that works for Willingboro. This is not shelved. This is not off the table. We are working on a TNVR ordinance. So give us a little bit of time and we will pass it. Or we will put it up for consideration of council. Were there any other things that I missed?
I think you captured everything, but I do want to comment on a few of these items.
Councilwoman Brown?
Thank you. So with regards to the trap and neuter, I know you said that we're working on the ordinance. I didn't see anything come through who's working on it exactly?
It's under review with the administration, with our chief of police, and we're and legal.
Okay, and I know you mentioned that some of the concerns, I only heard one. I was going to ask you what are the concerns, because I haven't had a discussion with anyone about it. I remember that they came to the council meeting and I saw the emails, but I thought we would have a discussion about it. So one of the concerns you said is other people's privacy, but our animals are supposed to have leashes on them to identify their home. So as long as that animal, in this particular case, it's cats, has a leash with the owner's residence, then the other ones that don't have one, they would be the cats that would be neutered. So I just would like for us to have a real, like some sort of, like you gave me we went over a draft of the township manager's salary. I mean, sorry, deputy manager's position. That was really fast. But I've yet to see anything come before regarding these cats, and this is the second time that they came here. So I don't have an issue by my house because I do have dogs, but that is, if they're offering the service, I think we should do a little bit more to really give them a response. And I think just saying that we're working on it, I think at this point it's a little bit unacceptable as far as I'm concerned, because I did not respond to your email. And just so you know, the reason why we don't all respond is because, one, we're not allowed to. It's like a email meeting if we're all responding on the emails. I do rely on the deputy mayor or the mayor to respond. And then at this session, at this setting, I'm expecting that we would get back information. And if this ordinance is being worked on, I should have received a draft or something no different than the draft that I received today about adding the deputy mayor and making him the deputy manager, So that's that. With
And
regards,
Councilwoman Pearl, just to respond to
okay.
that, the sample TNVR ordinance has been provided before in a previous package. I have not been working on this. I have met with the officials from Fobcast before as well. I met with Ann Represada as well as Brian Hackett, I believe. And they've also had conversation with the township manager. So it's not just word speak of we're working on it. We are actually doing work on this. And if you'd like to see the previous TMVR ordinance that was included in the previous package, I can have that re-forwarded.
I most certainly would like to see that. I would
Great,
like to
thank
see
you.
when it was added and what level it's at, because when we have ordinances, it's ordinance for introduction, then there's second reading, then there's third reading, and there's adjustments made. If it was already on if it was
And
already
there are
on the
some that are
packet,
added under new business or unfinished business that have not been made it to the actual resolutions or ordinances for consideration yet.
okay, so it's not on here because it hasn't been made to consideration,
Yes, it hasn't made it to the agenda for consideration yet.
and that's because you're working on it.
It's still being worked on.
Okay, so maybe we can have an update at the next council meeting, how far we are with that. But I want to move along to the other item that with the elite uh, gentlemen that came to speak up to the mic, Mr. Mason and Mr. Coleman. I did receive emails regarding that matter as well. And Madam Mayor, you know that I called you about it. But now that the council is here, when we're supposed to have these discussions, I'm a little concerned about some of the actions that have been taking place where it seems like they have been prevented from actually having events. Now, some of the concerns that the conversations that I was told was that a third person had reserved the space to have an event, and that person did not file whatever special permits that they should have done. And so it kind of reminded me of like the VFW, no, not the VFW, Forest and Military Lodge or the JFK Center. If you're going to have a party or something, that individual person must file for their special whatever to have it for the township, but we don't necessarily vote on it. All the events that take place at the JFK Center, we don't vote on that. The JFK Center exists and it is underneath our ream, right? Foster's exists, it's underneath their ream. If they rent out their space, like the library has rented out their space for some sort of event that they mentioned earlier today, that individual group who's renting the space must then get a special event permit. However, the Elite's social events place has already completed their documents, and that's what I read in the email. They've completed their documents, and this is not regarding the tax, this is regarding them actually holding events. So,
And Councilwoman Perron, if you could just hold for a second.
Sure.
Um, I'd like to make a motion to extend the meeting for 30 minutes. The town time is now 9:57. By our uh, regulations, we are supposed to end at 10 p.m. unless we have an extension. So I'd like to make a motion to extend our meeting for 30 minutes until 10:30. Is there a second?
Oh, second.
With a motion and a second, we'll do roll call. Madam Clerk?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson, Councilwoman McIntosh, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Perone, you can continue.
Well, so I just find that I think maybe a sit-down meeting with them, I just found that they've submitted their documents as far as having events, and I don't think that they should be prevented from having their events or be ignored or not responded to. And so that's my suggestion, that maybe that we invite them in to sit down and talk with us about whatever permits they're supposed to provide, and clear up that issue where someone else has reserved the space. No different than Tiffany Worthy's, what is it called, Epic Center. When people reserve her space, she doesn't have to come to the council meeting to get it approved each time. That person, that individual must meet the requirements as far as any, what do you call it? Insurance, people insurance, things like that. I had to do it recently for my daughter. So why are they being treated differently when it comes to having an event at their location? And this is not about serving alcohol, because I also know that the JFK Center, we've had multiple events where alcohol was there, uh, cabarets, people brought their own alcohol, no one was selling alcohol. So I'm not understanding what is the holdup with them, and why are they, this is being, why is it different for them?
Thank you, Councilwoman Marone. It is to my knowledge that the special events permits that they submit are from ABC. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
So I don't know what, if any, permits they've submitted for special events. There is a permit called a social affairs permit to serve alcohol at your establishment. That is different than any special events permit that might happen at that we may or may not give out. But on the clerk side, on the ABC side, it's called a social affairs permit. And those are the resolutions that come before you. And that's strictly just the alcohol side of things.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to do with the special events part.
Okay, so there's haven't been any special events permits. It's just the social affairs permits from the ABC that have come by. And yes, you are correct that they have been denied unanimously by the council, not just by any one person, and there were no abstentions. But we will work to make sure that you're folding in. They wouldn't have to do those special affairs permits if they had a liquor license, but their establishment does not have a liquor license. Foster's Military Lodge does have a liquor license, and that's why they don't have to submit the social affairs permit every time.
But like the JFK Center, we don't have a liquor license, but people bring alcohol and they drink alcohol at the JFK Center in the banquet hall. So I'm kind of seeing it that same type of a thing. It's not, I think he said that they were denied one, so they're not actually asking for that to be approved. I think is they're confused about having events. They're trying to have events, but they haven't received a response from us about the events piece. So social affairs permit and then social events permit.
There's no social event
Right.
permits that's
So social
required
affairs permit, that
for
was
alcohol.
that denied?
For alcohol, their most recent one was for social affairs for the ABC was denied.
Was denied.
I don't know their status of any special events permits from the town.
Okay, because Mr. Harris said that I received emails that they were in violation for even having an event. So,
You never received an email.
or something like that. It was
You
something.
never received an email like that from me, ever.
Okay, so can please, I don't want to pull the
So
email
the
up.
last communications you received, we had gotten some information that there was this plan for this major event.
Right.
And the communication that I believe was communicated from the inspections department was that if you are going to have this event, you need a special events permit. He is correct. They never applied for a special events permit. because my understanding was that they did not hold that event at that location. And I will stand by that. If you were to have that location at at that space, you would need a special events permit.
I think he said, but it wasn't his event. So that's that. So can they hold events? Are they allowed to have events today?
Well, that's a very broad question. What type of event? What are
I
you
mean,
doing at the event?
one that doesn't include alcohol.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. So they're not waiting for us to say, go ahead, put something on. They will do it.
Madam Mayor, may I speak to it? I have a little more knowledge.
Councilman Anderson?
So at their location, there was another group who wanted to host an event. It was for a fundraiser scholarship. That individual was advised, because it was advertised on social media, at that point, they needed to apply for the special events permit. That individual never applied. He spoke to the office, I think, on a Friday, which was no time for anything to be done because I believe the event was going to be that Sunday. So because they never applied for it, they were told they cannot hold it. It wasn't Diamond Dogs or Elite Social Group. It was another entity who, right, the third party. He never did what he was supposed to do. So that's why it was denied. And the big part was it was advertised on social media, so you don't know what the attendance would be. So that's what happened. And the inspections department spoke to the individual because the individual called me. And I said, well, this is what needs to be done. But because they didn't take heed to it when it was initially told to them, they waited to the last minute, which there was no time for it to be processed. So that's why.
Actually, right now, we're not doing anything from the public. Thank you.
So, but to Councilman Anderson's point, with regards to the Epic Center, again, she advertises events all the time on Facebook and never came before council. Yes, you have a lot of, you actually raise money, the Kwanzaa thing you do or Martin Luther King something you do. Stop shaking your head, please. She's advertised events at her location on the internet, on the websites, and her Epic Center has never come before the council to apply for any special events or any special anything. So I think we need to be fair. I'm just saying we can't have a double standards for one group, and then because if you're on council, you get special treatment.
I think you need to get the facts.
I will pull up all of the flyers that I've seen advertised for Tiffany at the Epic Center that's been advertised and never was there a special event permit that came before us? So I'm asking, I'm comparing it to the same.
Madam Mayor.
Dr.
No,
Worthy?
you're not comparing them to the same. We are not a 501c3. The Borough Epicenter is not a 501c3 organization. It is a LLC organization. Actually, the Borough Epicenter doesn't hold events. We rent our space to people who host different events. We didn't have to go through the same process because we're not a 501c3 organization. We're not a membership-based organization. It's a commercial space. It's not the same as a membership organization. It's not even the same type of building. It's not the same permitted uses. We have a completely different organization. And I think your organization is a membership-based organization. I don't have a membership-based organization. That's not what the Borough Epicenter is. It's a venue, and that's it. And so based on the permitted uses of the Borough Epicenter, we're compliant with what the ordinance requires for us in that venue. I don't have any I pay my taxes there. All my taxes are current. I pay my mercantile. I do all of those things. In fact, I have more requirements as a member of council. I have paid for permits. I have to pay for special conflict permits and everything because I can't even have my work done in Willingboro because I am a sitting council member. So it's not the same thing because the organization itself isn't the same. The business type is not the same. It is not.
And if we could refrain from the comment from the public. All right, with that, we'll continue on with our meeting. We do have executive session in need for tonight. But before that, we will do council comments. Councilwoman Perron,
You can come back to me.
are you relinquishing your time?
I am not relinquishing my time. I have not thought about what I wanted to speak about at this moment, so you can come back to me.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes, just want to thank everybody for coming out. Those who participated on Zoom, unfortunately, we were having technical difficulties, but as it was stated, we're working to resolve those. Congratulations to Officer Patrick DeGrazia on his retirement for his time served here in the community. Congratulations to Willingboro Police Department for acquiring their 4th accreditation, which I believe is what now, 13 to 15 years? Since 2013, 12 years, yeah. So congratulations there, and congratulations to Captain Harry for being accepted to the FBI Academy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilwoman Perron?
I will let you know if I have a comment. You can call someone else.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
I'll keep mine brief due to the time. I just wanted to take the opportunity to give a shout out to all the fathers, the father figures, the men in this community who, stand up for our community. You are needed. As a female, I'm just want to say you are needed. You are honored. And I just wanted to say that because I don't think you get enough honor on your day all the time. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to say Happy Father's Day to all our father figures in the community. You are definitely needed, and this community will not be whole without you.
Thank you, Councilwoman McIntosh. Councilwoman Perron?
I don't believe I raised my hand yet.
Okay, well, the last comments will be from the deputy mayor and the mayor, if you'd have a comment.
When I raise my hand, and if you want, again, an orderly meeting, let's be orderly. I will raise my hand when I'm ready to give a comment.
This is now the time for council comment. If any council members would like to speak, you can speak now. Seeing none, council comment is now closed. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. We will be having an executive session to discuss some matters of redevelopment. I appreciate everyone that came and voiced their opinions. There are still some issues that we need to work out with the Diamond Dogs Elite 609. We will be in touch to work out those issues there. With Fobcast and the TNVR ordinance, we will work out those issues there. And also, I thought there was something else. I think that was all for right now, but we will continue to work for that. I know we don't always agree, but I think this council is aligned with doing what's best for Willingboro, and we strive towards that fact. Please remember that we have our Juneteenth event on Saturday, June 21st, at Mill Creek Park, and we look forward to seeing everyone there in this celebration. I echo the sentiments for our police department. I'm very proud of Willingboro's finest. Congratulations to the officers that were sworn in today, as well as the students that received scholarship awards today. We are very proud of them, and a happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers. You can, Madam Clerk, if you'll do the resolution for executive session.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Resolution for executive session tonight is going to be Resolution 2025-172, resolution authorizing a closed executive session in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act. Can I get a motion in a second?
Can you identify?
Executive session to consider the resolutions and to receive the appropriate legal advice.
All right, we need a motion.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Perron?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson? Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we should be back in about 20 minutes. There may be action taken after we return.
Ashley's outside. Is there anything that we have to?
today.
He said he needed to come back here to do something. I told him 12. He said he was afraid to come.
All right, Madam Clerk, we need a motion to come out of executive session.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I get a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone?
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy?
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield?
Yes.
Thank you. We are now out of executive session at 10:27.
And we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
The time is now 10:28. We are adjourned.